As many MLB fans know, the Oakland Athletics are rebranding to the Las Vegas or Sacramento Athletics in the upcoming seasons. This is a rebrand many fans know about, but there are many other rebrands that many fans don't know the reasoning behind. They're obscure or they're forgotten about, which is why there is this video explaining the most recent rebrands of every MLB franchise.
On the seventh pitch, Harper hits one in the air, left center field, back it goes! Harper, the swing of his life!
Before we get started, let's go through the rules. A team has to fully rebrand, which means either a new name or a new city. And this has to be done past 1900, so no Philadelphia Quakers will be added on this list. And a team would have to have done this, so we're going to see no Colorado Rockies or no Arizona Diamondbacks, and they haven't changed their name or city in their entire time being a team. Okay, now that ground rules are set, let's get back into the video. The latest rebrand of an MLB team is the Cleveland Indians, who became the Cleveland Guardians back in 2022. The changing of the name was done because the name of the former team was an outdated and racist name towards Native Americans, thus the name Guardians. The name Guardians refers to the guardians of traffic statues outside the Hope Memorial Bridge in Cleveland. The name is also meant to represent pride, loyalty, and resiliency of Clevelanders. In 2012, the Miami Marlins moved from Sun Life Stadium, which is the current home of the Miami Dolphins, now known as Hard Rock Stadium, into the actual city of Miami in the Marlins Park, now known as Lone Depot Field. With the move, the team had a contractual obligation to rebrand from the Florida Marlins to the Miami Marlins, with the team's new home in the city of Miami. The Devil Rays changed to the Rays in 2008. This was done because many people had issue with the devil part of the team's name, even though the Devil Rays were an animal found in the Tampa Bay area. But with new ownership in 2008, the team became the Tampa Bay Rays. The new name ended up being good luck, with the team going to their first World Series that season. In 2001, the MLB voted for contraction, which meant the elimination of two teams, the Montreal Expos and the Minnesota Twins. Both these teams are failing to draw revenue and fans. The proposal never went through, but seeing the writing on the wall, the Expos moved in 2005. Another reason they moved was the fact that the Olympic Stadium in Montreal was aging, so the team moved to America's capital, Washington, D.C. The team chose the name Nationals from a former MLB team that used to call D.C. home. In 2005, Angels owner R.D. Moreno added the name Los Angeles to the Angels' name, but because of an agreement with the city of Anaheim, they had to keep Anaheim in the team's name, thus resorting to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Fans, residents, and governments were upset about the name change, thus causing the city of Anaheim to pursue legal action against the team. Eventually, the case was dropped in 2009. Despite the official name of the team being the Los Angeles Angels, the team never refers to themselves as being in any certain city. This is even seen on Topps baseball cards, where any city name is omitted. The second iteration of the Washington Senators are having stadium issues in only their 10th year of existence. Owner Bob Short said he would not renew the team's lease on RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. unless somebody bought the team from him. So the mayor of Arlington, Texas convinced him to move the struggling team to his city. The team actually almost ended up in Buffalo, New York, but the Turnpike Stadium in Arlington was a more attractive location to owner Bob Short. The new Texas franchise was named after the famous Texas Rangers law enforcement officers. After only one season of existence, the pilots are ready to move. There are many reasons for this. One was the poor condition of the team's stadium, Sick's Stadium. Another was very low attendance, with one game against the California Angels drawing only 1,000 fans. The league saw that the team was heading towards bankruptcy, causing MLB to send out a memo for the team to relocate to Milwaukee. During the offseason, Pilots owners sold the team to car salesman and former Milwaukee Braves executive Bud Selig, thus making the move to Milwaukee official. The name Brewers refers to an old team that used to call the team home, and also the large brewing industry in the city. Ever since 1961, Athletics owner Charlie Finley was looking for a new place to relocate his team to. Finley talked to the Dallas-Fort Worth officials before signing an agreement with the city of Louisville, Kentucky, but American League owners turned down the move 9-1, with Finley being the only owner who said yes. He then proposed a move to Oakland, but that was also denied 9-1 by the owners. Eventually, Finley threatened to move the team to a cow pasture in Peculiar, Missouri, but the AL president persuaded Finley to re-sign a 4-year deal with Kansas City, but Finley would eventually get his way. During the 1967 World Series, Finley announced he was moving the team to Oakland, and the American League owners said yes. After the Braves were sold to William Bartholomew in 1962, he began looking for cities to move the team to that had a larger television market. At the same time, Atlanta Mayor Ivan Allen Jr. constructed a Major League Stadium in only 1 year. After Allen Jr. failed to get the Athletics to the city, he got the Braves to move in. The city was very attractive to the Braves due to the fact that at the time Atlanta was the country's fastest growing city. The still young Houston franchise was already looking for a name change. This was done because the new Astrodome had just opened and the team was entering a new era of a new name. But it was also because ownership was afraid that the Colt Firearms Company would want to be paid for profits made using the name of the Colt 45 gun. The name Astros comes from space, which Houston was famous for. After Senators team owner Clark Griffith died in 1955, his adopted son Calvin Griffith took control of the Senators. He sold the team's stadium to the city and leased it back to the city of D.C. Eventually, he would move the team to Minnesota and name it the Twins, the name coming from the Twin Cities nickname that Minneapolis and St. Paul have. Eventually, 2 decades later, though, Calvin Griffith revealed the move of the team was because of the low population of black people that lived in Minnesota. The Reds were called the Reds before the change to the Redlegs, but they changed names in 1953 due to the height of communism and Reds being associated with communism. But the team would only keep the Redlegs name for 5 seasons before going back to their original and more historic name, the Reds. Once the Dodgers were bought in 1950, new majority owner Walter O'Malley was looking for a new place to build a stadium in to replace the aging Ebbets Field. The team almost moved to the site of what would end up being Shea Stadium, but they rejected it after the fact that the city of New York would own the stadium. Meanwhile, in 1956, the Los Angeles city officials were looking for a new team to relocate to their city. They were originally interested in the Washington Senators, but they would end up moving to Minnesota instead. At the same time, O'Malley was looking for a backup location in case New York politicians denied his plan to build a new stadium in Brooklyn. So he decided he would move to LA, but O'Malley was told he could only move to California if another team came with him, which is what leads us to our next rebrand. The Giants were in the same situation the Dodgers were in. They're looking for a stadium to replace the aging Polo Grounds. Eventually, the Giants realized they would need to move out of New York to find a new stadium. They looked at Minnesota, where their top minor league team played, but the Giants were approached by San Francisco Mayor George Christopher. Meanwhile, at the time, the Dodgers were looking to move to LA, but they were told they could only move to California if another team followed them, and that's exactly what the Giants did. The St. Louis Browns first tried to move in the 1940s to Milwaukee, but the Boston Braves AAA team was in Milwaukee, meaning the Braves got first priority for moving to the city. Browns owner Bill Veeck was prepared to pay the Braves $700,000 to let the Browns move to the city, but only 3 weeks before opening day, the Boston Braves became the Milwaukee Braves in 1953. That same year, Veeck got in touch with Baltimore Mayor Tommy DeSlandro and attorney Clarence Miles, who were leading the effort to get an MLB team to move to the city of Baltimore. There was no official word of the Browns moving to Baltimore, but during the 1953 season, attendance fell to 4,000 fans per game, the lowest mark in Major League Baseball. The team became so poor that the franchise had to keep selling off its top players to stay afloat. They even ran so low on money that they had to ration baseballs for batting practices and games. After that year, Veeck made a deal with Miles to move the team to Baltimore. But to get the AL owners to agree to move to the city of Baltimore, they'd have to get Veeck out as owner. So, Veeck sold his stake to a Baltimore investment group, making the Baltimore Orioles official. The team was named after the famous bird that inhabited the city and the old Orioles ball club that used to play in the city in 1902. The New York Highlanders looking for a name change after moving out of Hilltop Park and into the Polo Grounds. The name Highlanders was never popular with fans, so the team decided to go for a more patriotic and American name, and they chose the Yankees. In December of 1907, the owner of the then Boston Americans went to a sporting goods supplier to order new jerseys for his ball club. He realized that the National League Boston club, the Boston Braves, had stopped using their red stockings, thus leaving them available to the Boston team, which created the Boston Red Sox. The name Chicago Orphans originally came from when the team refused to renew Cap Anson's contract, leaving the team as a leaderless team, making them quote-unquote orphans. At this time, the writers in the papers decided what the name of the team was. But in 1902, the club wanted a more playful name, and the writers liked the name Cubs because of the young age of the then Chicago team. Well, thank you for watching. I now hope that you now understand every team's last rebrands. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.